can start teaching even what normally people say Kundalini meditation. Uh, but one thing that I would love to say that first you understand. Once you understand, do this practice at least for 30 days by yourself, once you have really understood. And see the change in yourself. And you can follow the same steps. Yeah, that is the first paper I gave you. And let us first understand. Have you heard about the gods and goddesses? Or those psychics, they raise their hand, they say, okay, Michelle, from today, you'll be in peace. I'm not talking of the fake experts or people. I'm talking about the existence. The existence works first through willing. The existence wills and the thing appears. It is not a magic. You understand that, like different gods and goddesses in different religion. You have heard a lot of stories. I'm not talking of any religion. So the guy went to the god and God appeared and the guy said, okay, please help me. And the God blessed and everything was set into order. So understand this process. Yoga explains beautifully. How it explains, it says that in case of the existence, first there is a desire, then there is a knowledge, accompanied with an action. Desire means aspiration, knowledge, and action. What happens about all of us as a human being? Does that happen? You, huh? Michelle, you close your eyes and you say, okay, let the $1 million come. No. So what happens? In cases of human being, the first is the knowledge. We acquire the knowledge. Acquire the knowledge. How? You go to the mall, you see a beautiful dress that you're putting on. Oh, this is good. Good color. It matches me. Yes, it fits me. So you acquire that knowledge. Now, as during the process of acquiring that knowledge, something pops up in your mind. Desire to possess. It's totally an irrational purchase. And then you go to the counter, you say, how much? 20 bucks? No, 75 bucks. Your rational mind says this seems to be costly, but your desire overpowers you and you buy it. Yeah, it happens. I always enjoy going to the mall, not buying anything. I leave my wife to buy it, but I start watching people. This is very good. I said, what is good in that? What is good in this? And I don't see. Yeah, I used to have those feelings, but now I'm very casual. I can spend even an hours together in the mall to just looking at the people. What is good for you is not good for you. So that knowledge part, first the mind dominates the knowledge part, then out of that knowledge you create a desire. And that too, more or less, it is subconscious because once I have this dress, I will look most beautiful. If I eat this, My belly will always be full. What is the center of the United States geographically? Which state? Kansas? Yeah? Yeah, no, it's okay. Our belly is over Kansas, it's a central province, central state. So that's what I was saying. You know. So we fill our, and we like the taste, acquire the knowledge. Oh, this food, I taste it. You repeat that knowledge. And then you go and buy it. But before that, the desire comes. So, the same way, the journey to the self discovery has to come in the same process: knowledge, desire, and practice.
Can they be flip flop?
No, no. If they flip flop,
like say the desire is there first.
Yeah. That's a good point. First thing to understand that if I don't have a proper knowledge, a clear understanding of what I'm going to do, why I want peace in life, forget about it.
The desire would be wrong.
Desire would be wrong. Then what I will end up with it, stretching and sweating, gives me very much peace. Huh? Then you will say, oh, let me eat more sweets because I enjoy, because I like it. You have a wrong knowledge. And then what will happen? After 10 years, you say, I have been eating poison because sugar is a poison. You see that? Understand. Yoga begins with a clear understanding. If you don't have this right knowledge, or you distort the knowledge. So, where the knowledge comes from listening to the teachers, all these crazy guys, and also from the books. But listening and reading alone is not enough. You understand? Listening, reading is not enough. How many times you go back to your home and think and contemplate? Now, we were talking before you came, and even before the this class began, I had the meditation. So I asked him how many times, how many days a week you do the practice. No, we forget to do the practice. That is why we are regular in your class, the previous class. I never say anything, but understand, if I have a correct knowledge, you have a correct knowledge of this center, the correct address, the picture, imagination, you land up every time, every Wednesday, to this center. Why? Because from the knowledge comes the desire. Now let me go and attend the session. So what is the problem? Problem is that we don't acquire the right knowledge. That is why we leave the practice. Oh, I feel very good in meditation. They are highly excited. And the next time I see they leave the class. It is because of incorrect knowledge, incomplete knowledge. I won't say incorrect, but there is an incomplete knowledge. So that is why I stress from where the complete knowledge comes from the text. What the text do? It has continued the tradition for 6,000 years. So last time we have understood Kundalini is basically a potential prana and the energy. Now, if you don't follow that and you say, okay, yes, It is like a snake in your base of the spine. It is sitting, sleeping. It is not releasing the poison because it is sleeping. So what is going to happen? And then you say petals, these petals, like a rose, like a lotus flower. You don't explain it. You had an incomplete knowledge. Let me know how many people, imagination, through their those lotus flowers lying into at different centers in your spine have really advanced into practice. It is a big challenge to continue the same superficial way to please people or get the right knowledge and start. So why I'm talking? I'm talking because I want you guys to do the practice after acquiring the right knowledge. For a couple of weeks. After that, you leave it. Who cares? But just for a couple of weeks, you do the practices and see if the change comes or not. So that is the right knowledge. So once you have a right knowledge, the summary of the right knowledge, how you read it, you listen to it, and you contemplate. You remove all the doubts from your mind. So now think of it when there is a knowledge that peace is my essential nature. Peace. Happiness is my essential nature. Then how you cannot have a desire to discover that peace and happiness? So what happens? Thousands of the people I met during the last 37 years. Oh, you say it's good. Peace is within me? Yes. Then they forget. Why they forget? You have any incomplete knowledge. You did not contemplate it. You did not remove the doubt. Because you did not remove the doubt, the conditioned mind went again to the same thing. Forget about it. Let me overeat little more sweets so that after a couple of years it becomes a poison. Then I say, no, sugar is a poison. I won't eat. But the desire there is inside. I won't eat. So everyone has gone is sleeping. I won't eat. Your mind is repeating. You went into the kitchen. Let me take only 1 teaspoon and you eat it. In the morning, you repent. Why? Because you did not contemplate. Choice is yours. In any meditation, in any journey of yoga, if you do not contemplate and remove the doubt from these principles, no change. No change. Do whatever you want. Now, I don't want to change, then why, why we are learning after all? No, I don't want to change. I would be the way I am. So why you are learning? First change yourself, then change others. So once you have that contemplation, now you get absorbed into that knowledge. It inspires you. There is a self-inspiration. There is two terms, inspiration and aspiration. What is aspiration? Aspiration is also a desire. What is that desire? To know yourself, to discover something within you. Desire outside is to buy a thing, to possess, to go into some place. But desire to know yourself is an aspiration. And if you are not inspired, nothing changes. Then comes, once you are inspired, what is going to happen? We all are inspired to go to our job in the morning. So you adjust everything within 20 minutes if you wake up late, but you don't have time to adjust the meditation. Come on. We have a lot of time to clean our face, like shaving. And I had long beard, before you. Oh, I made a presentation to you when I had a beard, Michelle, isn't it? I had long beard. When you came to, yes, no, no, no. Okay. So no, I find the time to clean, but I don't have time to meditate. Why? There is no aspiration. There is no inspiration. Why there is no aspiration and inspiration? Because there is an incomplete knowledge. And that knowledge doesn't come from the teachers. It comes from the traditional wisdom. So that is what is. So first there's the knowledge, then aspiration, and now comes the action part. Action part means the steps to the practices. That is how you can also explain to the people, I'm giving you everything. What? I'm giving you every step of this understanding and the practice. Now go. Yeah, I have written this, yes. So I have explained. Now comes another principle. The mind moves outside, it creates the world. The mind moves inside, the word disappears. What is that word? Your wandering mind, your lazy mind, your crazy mind. Yeah, it is on the second page. I'm explaining. Mind moves outside and creates the word and then desires. So when the mind is moving outside all the time, and I want to meditate, and meditation is moving the mind inside. So throughout the day, your mind is moving outside. Now you want to succeed in meditation. How is that possible? Because you missed the two part. In inspiration and aspiration, you miss the knowledge part. You don't ever think that moving the mind inside will lead you to meditation. And we say, oh, let me meditate. Meditate, yes. So when you sit for meditation, the mind is wandering. Then you complain. Oh, my mind is wandering in meditation. Mind doesn't wander when you go for window shopping. Does it really wander? Then you complain. No, I'm not able to do window shopping. You like certain food? You don't say, I don't remember what kind of a food that I should be eating. Why? See the principle. See the beautiful. Mind moves inside, the entire world disappears. What happens in deep sleep? The world disappears. I-ness is not there. You are in the happiest state, in bliss. In bliss, isn't it? The outer world is not there. You see the point? You understand what I'm saying? So the second principle that you can talk about it is the mind that has to understand that when it moves inside, it is ready for meditation. When the mind is constantly moving outside, how can it practice meditation? Out of respect, you may not move your body when I say don't move the body, but who cares after? Oh, it's a matter of half an hour. Then, so no, you have to understand. You have to get the right knowledge. If you don't get it, that is the same. Prana to now the third principle, prana to mind and mind to prana. There is only, I'm invoking one principle that says, Chale vate chalam chittam nishchale nishchalam bhavet. You cannot move your body if the mind is not ready to move it. That is one way of looking at it. Second way of looking at it, if you strip prana from the mind, the body can't move. Take the energy from the body. In the next session, we are going to learn some anatomy and physiology, and there we'll talk about it. But prana to mind. You change the prana, mind changes. You change the mind, the prana changes. Now, very interesting, but very important. What should we do? You are inspired, 100%, dedicated and committed to change your mind, to transform, to retrain your brain. You want to change your attitude. You have understood it, contemplated it. You don't need any breathing practice. You don't need it. And still you can awaken so-called Kundalini. You don't need it. There were thousands of masters who never did any breathing practice, who never focused on any chakra, and they were awake. But those who focus too much without having the right knowledge, it is not that I'm giving you the right knowledge, it is coming from the text and tradition. So, if you have the right knowledge, you have an inspiration and aspiration, and then you follow the steps, the mind starts moving and it awakens you. Now, you can also make people understand first, but first, if you don't do it, then you can read the text, you can go to the Google, download the steps, lotus flower, red in color, pink in color, orange in color, white in color. I found the lotus flower in the Himalayas that is purely white in color. Actual. I'm not talking of the spine inside. Now, you make me, yeah, yeah, let us see, let us see. If Rodney is there, wonderful. Yes, you go. Yes, yes, he has to go. Now, two things, two layers of our existence. No, no, it's okay. Two layers of our existence. First is the energy. Why we talk of rising the energy or the kundalini from bottom to the top. Yeah, bottom to the top. So rise of energy is from bottom to the top. Understand another principle. And the mind moves from outside to inside. It is a horizontal movement. And a vertical movement is of energy. Energy moves from down to the up. You lighten the candle here. If there is no wind, what happens? That energy always points upward. It never points down. Any energy, any energy. What makes it down? Incomplete knowledge, desire, conditioned mind, it takes for granted. How the desires? Because the mind is moving outside. So when it is moving outside, then what happens? It pulls that energy into the lowest center of survival, of fear. So when there is a survival and a fear, now if I have to survive in presence of you and you want to kill me, what should I do? I should have first anger to raise my energy to fight with you. Yeah. So then these lower centers starts activating. Who activates them? You. Your mind. It is moving up, outside. So mind should move from outside to inside. One. Second is the prana. This energy should move from the bottom to the top. So when it moves upward, it leaves, it releases, the mind is released of the lower animal instincts. There is no danger in it. Normally people talk about these dangers, but why that there are dangers? My mind is thinking of eating the sweets and I'm doing the pranayam. What happens? Mind is clear, but it is obsessed with the sweets. The moment the meditation is finished, first thing that you do, let me have sweets. Let me have sweets. That is what happens. I have a passion for something, to achieve something, to have a contact, to have a relationship, to possess something. Infatuation is there, and you come to meditation. Mind is clear, except one thing, except your infatuation. So the entire mind is engaged with that infatuation, and you are ready to go. You understand what I mean? That happens. You have made a planning to buy some clothes, or for example, iPhone. It's a craze for the iPhone. No, I want to replace it. I want to update it. Now you had that desire. You know, on that particular day when you are driving to the iPhone store, you feel so much in peace. That desire. That desire is performed, converted into an action. Same thing should apply when the mind moves inside and the prana rises up. Now I would like to ask you one question. You already know now, and you can teach also that we have, how much? Our dear teacher is teaching Kapal Bhati, and then Bhastrika, then Narishodhan, then Anulom Vilam, and then what else? And then Surya Bhedi, then lot of breathing practices. I talk about it and I say that they are not. What is the goal of all? Where we are heading to? Single goal, according to the yoga, not according to your utility. Oh, it increases my immunity, it helps the lymphatic system, it retrains the brain, changes my attitude. What is the ultimate goal? Rise in consciousness,
Peace.
peace and happiness. What else? But how? And how long I have to do this practice of breathing? Every day? And one day I'll become bored. I'll leave. Can this pranayama need to be practiced every day, years together, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? No, I'm tired of doing it. What is the goal? We never care for it. Obviously, you have learned, closing the nostril, right, left, up, down, putting into the belly and the chest, and then done. How long I have to do the practice? 24 hours, your breath is going in and out. You don't notice it. It means there must come some change in that breathing pattern by doing all these crazy stuff. Once you reach to that, you are okay. I already answered that, but I want you to remember and let me. It is something like you're hungry. And let us take that statement rationally and contemplate. You're hungry, you eat. You eat. What happens to hunger? Uh, it's gone. Yeah, you're happy. Yeah. Now, reverse this statement. Reverse this statement. What would be the question? What would be the question? What is hunger? Should I eat or not? As if you're asking me, should I look at you or not? You're already looking at me.
So would it not be hungry anymore?
No,
Like,
you
would it be like an analogy?
you don't know the hunger, and then you're asking me that, what is this hunger? Should I eat my food or not?
If you
What should I say? I said, stop it. Don't worry about it. And when something starts happening into your, what did you say? Kansas? Kansas?
Kansas.
Kansas. When something starts happening into your Kansas, then you then you eat your food and you are done. It is the central. That is what happens in our life. It means the mind picks up the basic necessities, essentials of our life, and it tries to possess and acquire base. One and the desire is the second. I have answered you that once your flow in both the nostrils become equal, whenever you become aware of the breath during the day, you feel both the breath are equal. You need not to worry about doing any pranayama. You are ready to meditate anytime, Your mind is free from the wandering, crazy and the lazy mind. Then you will understand, Michelle, that your body now simply doesn't move. It is still in action, but pure action. And that action gives you a sense of peace and happiness. So, a couple of things, but two things you remember. First is the flow in both the nostrils are equal. Second thing, it is diaphragmatic breathing. It's a natural. And if that is natural to you at any time of the day, even before going to this sleep, so what happens? The prana has become your servant. Mind desires what? Let me sleep. Within 2 minutes, you fall into sleep. Mind says, I have come here to learn. Let me focus, and you remain focused. You don't say, oh, I'm not focused, so let me do Kapal Bhati, let me do shining of my skull, and then I will come to then I will start learning. You see the point of understanding. We don't want to understand. Who cares? Why? I know Kapal Bhati. I know Bhastrika. I know. Who cares? Do you feel good? Yes, you'll always feel good because you're breathing faster, oxygen concentration has to change. You're bound to feel good. So, what you have done, incomplete knowledge. So every time you have your skull is not shining, you, you want to do it. So we make a joke. I would say I don't say anything. You're going to be teachers. That's why I'm saying you. I never say outside. I accept everything. I enjoy it. If one is already busy in doing skull shining, let him or her do it. Huh? One is doing Pastrika, one is doing ocean breath. So, you see the real meaning, it is victory over the prana. So one of the reason of the Ujjayi breathing, if you are doing Ujjayi breathing or the ocean breath regularly, the time will come your both the nostrils will flow of both the nostrils will be coming. That is one of the most important and powerful breathing tools. Who cares? I have understood. I know it. I'll not do it. Don't do it. Nothing happens to me also if you don't do it. So when they don't do it, then they come up again by lot of. But here I want to tell you one thing, and then we'll start with the different steps, how you introduce. So you will create a couple of steps, and then you are going to be a good teacher even of Kundal. Don't worry about the resting. Even these are the simple principles that you should be understanding, and then you can do it. Yes. Then, yes, I want to explain that client who comes to me, that student, now he has been coming to me for the last, this is the 6th month now for a private lesson, my friend, 6 months. Yeah. So now see, substance abuse was there, one. Okay. Then panic attacks, anxiety was there. I'm just telling you, skipping everything. I did every practice as well. Kapalbhajan. Now what he is doing and what is his state. First thing, he was not studying in any school. Now he is studying in a school. He used to get into panic because of chemistry. Last week he came, he got 100 in chemistry. Yeah?
How old is he?
He is 26. With you can think of a young guy full of energy and substance abuse. His father said, "No, let me send this guy to somewhere in the Himalayas. You tell me some monastery where there is a total control." With the right knowledge in my mind, I said, "No, I want to meet you." I confronted him. I said, "Would you take care of me the way you are taking care of your son? Why you want him to stand too far from yourself? You will be more stressed." So he agreed. I said, "No, so what should I do?" I said, "No, you have to continue. Let me see that what result I." So last time he paid me and he hugged me. He was keeping his hands together. Oh, he changed. I never believed it. So the main thing that I wanted to tell you, now we started with, he has really understood, it has gone inside his head. He is totally inspired to change his life because through these principles, I put him into his head. I said, "You have to confront me. You have to prove these principles wrong." First thing. Second thing, you have to help allow these principles for only single desire, to live in peace and happiness. I don't want you to study. I don't want you to go to anywhere. I have nothing. No, but my dad says, I forget him. I'll talk to him. So once he started reaching to that state, he said, "No, you told me not to." I said, "No, I didn't tell you. You told me," and I said, "Okay, don't do it." Now I have to study. I have to get good grades. I have to change my attitude. I said, "Less them down." So he wrote down, Now, the last time when we do the practice, you see that what practice we do. I said, can you play with the breath through the chest? How do you play? No effort. No effort. Continue. Forget about Kapalbhati shining or pumping your central province, central state. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Just do it. He did it only for 10 minutes. Instead, what happened? My head is clear. I said, can you observe the breath? Ah, it flows equally through the nostrils. So at last you should reach to that state when this breath flows equally. It has to be from the belly. That is the natural breathing. So what happens? This kind of a breath tunes your entire existence with the outer prakriti or the nature. It tunes perfect tuning with the outside nature. Now you are in perfect tune with the outside nature. Can your mind wander? The mind doesn't wander. Your mind is not distracted. Mind is not reacting. Come on, your mind doesn't react, doesn't that is the right stage one has to reach with these different kinds of pranayama practices. So I spoke about 3 or 4 principles, and we will see that how you could be doing in parts. First step, self-awareness. First step is a relaxed, steady, and a happy state. Step one, you can, if you want to give these practices to people, you can write down and later on follow these simple steps to create your own. But I would definitely request you to please do it yourselves. Do it for yourself. First step, relax, steady, in a happy state. Just close your eyes, write down the first step. Yes, you are writing. Yeah, first step, write down and just leave the pen and close your eyes. Leave the pen, close your eyes, and then after that you can write in your own words. That's why I didn't give you the transcription. So close your eyes. What is the first thing that you want to convey, transmit in your students? When if I say be comfortable, be carefree and casual that you might have heard. Second, I use steady and happy. So you are talking and helping the students to withdraw their mind from wandering. If you are not helping their mind to withdraw from the wandering, how you can help your students to succeed? That is why I said the first step is the self-awareness. You can say the preparatory step. It is your choice. What should be done? First thing, relaxed state. Look at the head, look at the neck joint. How we feel discomfort, unease, mostly in the joints. So I'm directly giving the instructions, just 3 instructions, and then you can understand. Look at the neck joint, feel the sensation and awareness. Look at the shoulder joints, feel the sensation and awareness. Now open your eyes, what I'm doing. You see that there is a subtle point. When I say look at the neck joint and feel the sensation and awareness, your mind that is wandering outside, now it is feeling the sensation and awareness. It has already started moving. That is the subtle point. Write it down in your words, then we'll start with the second step. Second step, my friends, is recitation to align the mind to what we are aspiring for. You see, in my 1 hour class, I don't think that the students who are attending my 2 days class will come again. I don't think about it. So I have to give maximum in a right manner in the 60 minutes. That's all. That's how I have started thinking, especially in America. Because learning meditation is a commitment in your life. I don't like because you have incomplete knowledge. You don't know what is good for you. What is good for you should be done. What you like and dislike comes from the mind, and that keeps your mind wandering. But I cannot explain that in 1 hour class. So that is why I give intensive. I become very intensive. Okay. Let their mind for some time be totally away. Yeah? Away from lower consciousness, lower movement, and at least they should experience some kind of a peace so that they may remember. So second point is recitation to align mind to what we are aspiring for. So here what you can do, you can use some mantras or you can use some intent. Normally in our classes in America, we say, oh, have an intent. No, you have to use an intent. Tell them this is the intent. Just have an intent. I'm moving into peace. I'm discovering peace. Let the peace be awakened. Let the happiness come into my life. If you're not saying it, oh, let me have an intent to have a. Let me go to the liquor store. That is my intent after this class. No, introduce because we are not guiding them the entire philosophy and a practice in a class. So have some intent. May make it more direct because that will add beauty. You will enjoy that once you follow these simple principles. Oh, people are receiving benefits. What is our goal of learning? Feel the
They might start wandering.
yes,
Again.
yeah. I will teach my honey today after the class. I'm stressed, that's why I'm coming to meditation. I'll go home and I'll teach. Create some direct intent. Our mind is constantly wandering, so that also helps you. Now move to the third step. What should be the ideal third step? The third step, you have to change the direction of the prana to change the mind. So you tell them that we are changing the direction of the prana. The prana is clogged. You can, what words you can use? Prana is enjoying. What the prana is enjoying? It's anger, it's greed. So you have to strip that prana from there. Once you have done it, you have started raising the prana from bottom to the top. Tell everyone, please. It is our crazy mind that is a deeper concern than visualizing the lotus at the base of the spine. What a dirty place it is. I'm talking about base of the spine. Now, understand, this is the principle. You have to change the prana, direction of the prana. So once you change the direction of the prana, you change the mind. That is your third step. So you can have any number of steps based on the group. The group is about 50. Be careful. You need not to worry about giving intensive practice. Huh? Change the breath. Maybe it may be a quick and a fast breathing from the chest, from the belly, from both. You can pick. Yes, yes, you pick. But first, you do to yourself so that you will understand. You know, then in our style, our country's style of yoga. Our country's style. I don't like Michelle, this kind of. But don't worry, I'll change it next time. But if you are using Kapalbhati, I'm giving you Kapalbhati, and the next week you say, I'm not giving you a Kapalbhati, but still you are doing the same breath, they will say, okay, I'm not coming. You're making me crazy. See that's how adapted and adjusted to the people here. I cannot guide and teach the entire principle in 1 hour. I pick up only a couple of minutes to start with the knowledge and then keep an aspiration and then start the practice.
You usually look at your group and
Yes.
like
Yeah, I'm very dynamic. So yes, there is other point to be noted that when you're talking to the group, that gives me a greater opportunity. Who is fidgeting, who is changing their postures, who is looking where, what kind of a breath they have. Either they are breathing through the rib cage or the belly, how many times they switched on. Do they really respond as if they have understood or they have a big face? One woman came last year. Why you say me to smile? I have no reason to smile. I said, I'm sorry, I'm taking my words back. But I have another question. What is the reason now you have such a big face? Oh, that's a logical question. I said, first you do the practice, go back home and think of it. Don't think here. Don't waste my time. Let me take care of the entire group. No, just out of laugh, I said. So sometimes you get those, so I note all those things. Well, because years, so practicing guiding and self-practice gives me that opportunity. So normally you take the entire group into account and then look at their breath. Or if they have come for the first time, it should be something gentle then. Or sometime if the person is young, as in I can do anything, come on. Yes. So change your model. So there, the best thing that you have learned, you say, let us release our prana from the emotional center. So it means you're doing from the chest, from the belly. Here it is the center of abundance of energy. You have said this and you start the breath. What is the secret behind it? Maximum, minimum 1 minute has to be done. So I see that when you do it minimum for a minute, even if you don't like it, I have been giving you, Michelle. I know. Uh, I know I don't tell people, but because you are learning something, so I have even 1% right over you. So, but for the other people in the class, they have come, they have come for one session. But when it comes to private session, then I'm more responsible. I explain to them, no, I don't feel good. I said, come on, discuss why you don't feel good. Until we talk about and understand why you don't feel good, why you don't like it, I will add those minutes to your session. So if we discussed and understood in 10 minutes, the session becomes 1 hour and 10 minutes. So normally anxiety people are scared of me. No, he will increase the duration. I have to finish it in 1 hour. So I'm happy in the other way, but I'm ready to serve you. So That is three breath, quick and a fast. Second way is to just ask them only breathe through the right nostril, left nostril, inhale and exhale. Right nostril, inhale and exhale. Both the nostril, inhale. Why I'm asking you? Goal is both the nostrils should flow equally and the belly breath. So after every minute of the practice, you have seen that I ask you to learn from your experience. So you have to add the second point just after breathing for about 2 minutes, since experience the sensation or relaxation and the stillness. Two things happens. One is you are helping the mind of your students to calm down just after the breathing. So the energy starts balancing. And second thing, what happens? You get an opportunity to watch everyone, whether they have started breathing through their belly. And what happens? When they are into that state, you can feel the movement of each side of your nostril are moving inside and out little bit. You know, these 2 points here because it expands. And if it expands, you know this guy is going to go deeper into meditation. So I'm more or less I become aware that this guy is definitely going. So it's but if you don't practice yourself, nothing is going to happen. It is information doesn't work. Once you start doing it and you see, oh yes, what this crazy guy has said, this is happening. So it becomes your experience. That is your third step. Fourth step, the fourth step, what should be the ideal fourth step? In between, you can add, if you don't like these steps, you can add lotus, you can add jasmine flower is planted into the heart, or you can add any kind of flower. Yes, that is any gods and goddesses I have. Fourth is let us move the mind within to move the prana upward. So you are doing both. You're moving the mind within, and that helps to move the prana upward. So how it happens? So initially, you should give some point of attention and awareness. It may be heart, it may be inside the forehead. You know what? Brows, eyebrows. Focus your, you can say eyebrows, I could see. However, you should know that there are 300 points here. You can pick up any point, anywhere mind is there and mind will go inside. You need not to worry. But yes, our own style. So eyebrows is very famous.
Now the breath has stopped.
Breath has
We're
stopped.
still,
You are still.
And now we're just
Now,
gaze,
yes.
gaze inward.
Now gaze inward. Whether gaze inward inside your heart, or inside here, or inside here. These three centers, why I say three centers, understand properly. When your mind is inside the heart center, it becomes clear about the goal of meditation. There is a sense of clarity. And if you ask their mind to focus at any center below the heart, you are inviting dangers. That is the danger zone of greed, of anger, of fear. And if they have inbuilt inhibitions, that some person from anxiety and the stress comes, yeah, from the grief comes. Who knows? They may feel a deeper grief. Because you're asking them, come on, look at the grief, enjoy the grief. How can you enjoy it? So, and all those centers below the heart, center, below the anahata center, has to do with your subconscious, habitual, and wandering, crazy, and the lazy.
We only want to go one directly below the heart.
But yeah,
Heart above.
yeah, heart and both. And once people start doing it, then you can maximum go up to the belly. But don't touch the lower two centers. The greater you touch and you start adding some imagination, that is where the danger lies in Kundalini. Otherwise, you are sure 100%. If you remain above the heart and above the heart center, don't worry. You are sure. Nothing, no danger at all. No danger at all. Yes? So there you can have a lot of things. Simple breath awareness, looking inside the heart, adding some mantra into it, and add humming sound, the Brahmari. Yeah, Brahmari pranayam. So before doing this, you can add, that is a subsection of it. Yeah. So now understand one thing and then we'll give a break. Understand. So you're asking students to take their mind inside the heart, use some mantra, or you are asking them to do the humming or do the loud chanting of the Om. Maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, or 20 times based on the class that you understand that they are settling down, they are not moving their body. Their breath starts moving from the belly, then the chest, and even when they are humming, it is a rhythmic movement. You are sure they are going to relax. Their mind is going deeper down. Then the second point in the subset of this is the focus inside the heart or anywhere. The last point you should, that is the most important point, that you are helping all your students to bypass, it is between us. So you are asking the students to bypass the body and the breath. And you're not doing anything with this physical body, which is in the state of relaxation, in the stillness, and the breath. So you're helping their mind to go deeper. Huh?
The body and the breath.
No, no, no. Body, yes, body and the breath. You have transcended it. You have bypassed it by doing all the previous steps. Now you are asking them to live within. Live within. In deep sleep, you are also live within. But here you are in meditation, your mind is living within without doing anything. Without doing anything means there you can simply have the breath awareness or mental dropping of some sound inside the heart or inside the forehead. So it means the body and the breath are not disturbed. So when they are not disturbed, what happens? Your mind doesn't notice. When it doesn't notice, it doesn't wander. It doesn't return to its old habits. You see the point? It doesn't return to the old habits, and at last, you get a sense of nobody. You become nobody. I-ness is not, because I is identifying with the body, with the breath. And the moment you get that sense, instantly you succeed in meditation and you enjoy that meditation. Yeah. So let us do it regularly. I would plead, request, urge, inspire, encourage you guys to do the practices for 30 days every day, and you write to me your experience. And you will enjoy after 2 weeks. You will be so much confident in giving the practice. You will, there are at least a lot of people who have been Kundalini yoga teachers here. They come to me for a private lesson. They have been doing it for 10 years and they have attended some of my workshop and then they come just as wonderful. We get the result in only in one session. But I told them that you have to break your old habits, what you have learned. You can add the positive points from there. But don't start. Imagine, have a Kundalini meditation. There are many dangers. Half of your mind says, I will not do it. And if I do it, if something happens, what should happen? So all those crazy questions comes. So let us take a break and then we will start. Yes.
So if you're